Like other people at the American Renaissance Conference, Taylor argues for a separation of the races, where whites don't have to be reminded of slavery, segregation, or the fact that racism still exists.
If you want that white-only land, why don't you go find somewhere else to live?
What do you mean, find someplace else?
Where do you want the people of color to go?
Welcome to Racist of the Week. My name is Reese Waters. This is where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union and also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. You can email me at reese@reesewaters.com. And shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. Well, today we're back in Tennessee. Yeah, again. I don't know why these white supremacists love Tennessee. First, there was the Nacho March in Nashville.
The khaki-loving extremist group known for plastering communities, including the Nashville area, with their white supremacist slogans.
Then there was the Christian Nationalists trying to take over Jackson County.
I'm not going to debate the meaning of America with those that seek its destruction.
The two Christian nationalists denounced the efforts of civil rights leader Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement in general, with Engel saying you cannot have both MLK and Heritage America, and Isker declaring we should turn civil rights back to the states. They celebrate images of whites-only diners in the 50s, with Engel proclaiming the 1960s ruined everything, and they mock historical incidents like the kidnapping of 14-year-old Emmett Till.
Well, they back again.
Fronting hate. Our exclusive News Channel 5 investigation continues, focusing this time on how Tennessee has become home for what may be the most influential white supremacist gathering in the country.
Every year, a state park right here in Middle Tennessee hosts the so-called American Renaissance Conference.
Today's nominee, the American Renaissance Conference.
Drawing 200 to 300 people from around the country.
Can you call it a conference when it's 200 to 300 people? Huh? That's more like a meeting. Yeah, that's more like a meeting.
Some of them the biggest names in the world of hate.
They got Charleston White, Chris Collinsworth, Joe Buck.
But instead of white robes and hoods, these attendees come in coat and tie.
I like the white robes and hoods better, if I'm being honest. I mean, it was intimidating at the time, but it's also quite a warning.
Here at Montgomery Bell State Park, the tranquility of a fall afternoon was interrupted by the sounds of protest.
No Nazis, no KKK, no fascist USA.
By a small group of anti-fascists upset over the return of the white supremacist American Renaissance Conference.
Now, why does Antifa dress like that? You know, because I feel like most of us are anti-fascists. So if anybody's just wearing a coat and tie, it should be the anti-fascists.
An annual event that's been held here at the Park's Lodge and Conference Center since 2012.
We're out here to make a statement. Don't ever come back here again.
No! You are not welcome here.
Y'all here for the conference?
Trained to avoid a clash that erupted 1 year between the two sides, park rangers set up a security perimeter, confining the Antifa protesters to the backside of the lodge, separated from the conference by a locked gate.
It's at this point I would just like to highlight the reality of checking into a hate conference. Yeah, I'm here for the white hate conference. Yeah. Waters. Okay. I was told that I could pick up my badge and lanyard right here. All right, cool. Also, you got any pamphlets or paraphernalia I can get just for my kids when I go home. They always want me to bring them something.
Basically, they invite some of the worst hate groups into this park every single year to rally. You can see one of them right there.
In your mind, what's the difference between this and a KKK rally?
Oh, there is no difference. They're the same people.
Why he pointed at him like he spotted a bear or something in the. There they go, right there. Get the binoculars. Get the binoculars. Wow, that is hate in action. See how he wear that hat and don't care how silly he look? Yeah, his thoughts are the exact same way.
The protesters made it very clear how they feel. We're about to head over to the conference center and talk to the man who's leading all of this. Mr. Taylor, hi, Phil Williams.
Is that Jared Taylor? Wait a minute. I recognize him.
But I think the evidence is overwhelming that East Asians, on average, are somewhat more intelligent than whites, and whites are more intelligent than blacks.
But I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider it, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
You know what's crazy is in doing research for this particular piece, I happened to come upon a video where this man was testifying at a trial. A black man's trial.
That's all in the defense ploy to get him off with a lighter sentence.
Mr. Osby has been a witness of a considerable amount of violence.
Jared Taylor, author of a book on race relations, testified for the defense with a bombshell of an argument that young black men pose an unusual threat.
And my role was simply to explain to the jury that black men are more dangerous than white men are more dangerous than women, young men are more dangerous than old men, and therefore, since his assailants were two young black men, they were, statistically speaking, the most dangerous people in America.
But how do you argue that young black men are more dangerous than white men? What's your statistical evidence there?
The statistics come from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Black people in 1992 committed 55% of the homicides. They were 12% of the population. This gives a homicide rate that is 9 times higher than the white homicide rate. You can't argue about that.
So if what you say is true, then Damian Osby's attackers had just as much reason to fear him as he did to fear them.
No, that's not true.
They're all young black men.
Yes, they are young black men. But just because young black men are more likely to commit violent crimes than, say, old white women, it doesn't mean that every young black man is going to commit a violent crime.
Taylor's testimony was not challenged during the trial.
Now, you can say what you want about the current state of affairs, but we are not allowing Jared Taylor to testify in trials of black people. Also, let's all be clear. I am as fond of the 90s as anyone, but that was a low moment for fashion in the history of the world. Y'all saw what they had on.
At the main entrance, we were allowed inside.
This is very important.
Sure, absolutely.
Very important. These people can lose their jobs.
Sure, absolutely.
Their girlfriends can jilt them. I mean, that's the kind of society we live in.
Under the condition that we not take video of any of the participants' faces.
How would you describe the people who are attending this conference?
These are smart, observant, thoughtful Americans who see that our country is going in the wrong direction and has been going in the wrong direction for decades.
How many decades? How many right to the civil rights. Right there. Okay. That was right where it went wrong. Okay. And all the equality and all. Okay.
And your critics say you use, being smart, being intellectual as a cover for racism.
What is racism, for heaven's sake? Racism,
do you not know what racism is?
Well, nobody can really define it in any sensible, consistent way.
Oh, I know.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your robes. I'm getting so hot, I'm losing my robe. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your robes. I am getting so hot, I will take my robe off.
What is racism really? Here's my article called The Brown Scare.
Taylor heads American Renaissance, which includes a website that promotes articles like How Thousands of Black Behaviors Opened My Eyes.
Well, see, no, they're not racist behaviors. They regular behaviors, just like keeping the water bottles on the floor or taking the napkins out the bag and putting them in your car. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing like that. You know what I mean? Keeping shopping bags in the dishwasher. It's innocent black behaviors. It's just thousands of them.
And leaked emails showed the website was one often privately promoted by Trump advisor Stephen Miller.
Oh yeah, nothing to see here. That's not going to be a problem at all. We good. We good.
What's the difference between what's happening here and a KKK rally?
I've never been to a KKK rally. I couldn't tell you.
Isn't the message the same, though?
I have no idea. I've never been to one.
KKK? Never heard of them. No. Do they study black behaviors? Yeah. He treated the KKK like they wanted Caitlin Clark to treat the WNBA's history.
I am delighted to see groups and organizations cropping up.
But leaked video from the 2021 conference shows Taylor meeting with Thomas Rousseau, the head of the Patriot Front. That's the khaki-loving extremist group known for plastering communities, including the Nashville area, with their white supremacist slogans.
Patriot Front!
Thomas Rousseau!
In fact, when we checked our video, that was Rousseau we had spotted on the bridge. Patriot Front later posted a group photo of them at this year's conference.
He is really proud of that hat, isn't he? Yeah, he really. Yeah. So they do the face coverings and make sure you couldn't show nobody, but he just gonna sit there and wear the same identifiable hat everywhere. Okay. Hey, check all the surveillance footage. Yeah, I just want to see something.
They do their thing, I do mine.
How about the neon?
I don't even know a neon.
But among this year's speakers was Austrian Martin Sellner, a neo who plastered on a synagogue in 2006. And after some 50 people were mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2019, emails show Sellner had been in contact with the shooter. Although he was never charged with any wrongdoing, Sellner was barred from entering the U.S. and had to appear at the conference by video.
When I say I don't know any nachos, I meant in the biblical sense. Yeah, we don't do that. So I meant in the biblical sense. I don't know any. They be my mans though.
Do you not consider yourself a racist?
No.
Like other people at the American Renaissance Conference, Taylor argues for a separation of the races.
Ain't nowhere in the world he'd leave a black neighborhood looking like that.
Where whites don't have to be reminded of slavery, segregation, or the fact that racism still exists.
Wait, run that back.
Where whites don't have to be reminded of slavery, segregation, or the fact that racism still exists.
If I understand this clearly, your reasoning for the separation of the races is so you don't have to be reminded about slavery, segregation, or that racism still exists. So the presence of black people is a reminder of the atrocities in history that has populated this country with black people. So therefore, you want to be separated so you don't have to be reminded of your own actions. Just so I'm clear, you wouldn't feel pain in being reminded of your own actions if not for your own awareness of just how wrong they were.
If leftists were consistent, they would be perfectly happy to say, yes, you white people, you torment all of these non-whites. Of course, we do not.
But white people did.
Well, hold on. Why can't you let me finish?
You keep wanting to gloss over the history.
I'm not denying the history at all. What have I glossed over? Of course, there's been slavery, Jim Crow, segregation. I'm not denying any of that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Didn't you just say that you didn't torment the non? So what you call? That was all for fun? Is that was all? Y'all were just playing?
Yet when I pressed Taylor on how he and others at the conference would separate the races.
If you want that white-only land, why don't you go find somewhere else to live?
What do you mean, find someplace else?
Where do you want the people of color to go?
I don't want them to go anywhere.
He was short on specifics.
No, because he got concepts of a plan. Yeah, he got concepts of a plan for separation. They'll figure it out.
So it sounds like you're advocating for something that you have no idea how it would work.
Oh, I have a good idea how it would work.
You just told me you didn't.
Well, the practicalities of it. I think it's entirely possible that an American state might secede.
Montana. Montana, go ahead. Matter of fact, take Idaho with you. Yeah. Y'all good. Yeah, no, grab some bagels, some water, or some Gatorade, whatever y'all need for the road. Don't get cute, Florida. Don't get cute.
There is a considerable secessionist movement all around the country today.
So you are in favor of secession, breaking up the United States?
I'm a believer in separation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Then as we prepare to head out.
Why are none of you showing your names or badge numbers?
The last time we saw the protesters, they were at a dock across from the lodge. Now they're apparently having some sort of standoff with police here.
We are all people. They want to people.
We soon discovered protesters had attempted to get closer to the main entrance, hoping to be able to confront conference attendees more directly.
So you're wanting to go down to the lodge?
We are wanting to go anywhere on public property that we are constitutionally allowed to do, and they are inhibiting that. But yes, specifically, we would like to go down towards the lodge where they are expressing their speech, and we'd like to likewise express our own.
Everyone you care about.
Yet as I watched the determination of the protesters, I was also reminded of Jerry Taylor's own determination and his insistence that he believes he and his group are wearing down the resistance.
I think they've kind of given up. I mean, we're going to be back here, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, they worn down. Because last year we was at 298. This year we at 303. And that barrier right there was really what we needed. That was it. Actually, those extra people were just a family of 6 that was sightseeing. Yeah, they wandered into the wrong conference room. So you can't claim them. You back at 298.
Yeah, we're not going to change Jared Taylor's mind. He's not going to change ours. That's not why we're here. We're here to let the public know that this will not stand in our state of Tennessee. That's all I have. Yeah.
But as you saw there, Jerry Taylor and his white supremacist friends feel they have the advantage, 200 or 300 of them compared to maybe a dozen protesters. So they feel welcomed here, plus they get an army of law enforcement there to protect their First Amendment rights to have and express those views.
Really eye-opening. Who pays for all that extra law enforcement?
Well, as you might imagine, you and I do. A few years back, the state of Tennessee tried to charge them for the security associated with this conference, but a federal judge ruled that such fees were unconstitutional.
Interesting. Phil, thank you. Sounds like we all can keep shining a light on this. More stories to come.
Absolutely.
Phil, thank you.
I love that they actually take credit for how few people were needed or even knew about the thing enough to show up and oppose it. Also, shout out to Phil. I saw that blue sky. I saw that blue sky. That was well done. You know what, Tennessee? We have been here at least 4 times with these white supremacists. There was the people of Nashville standing up to the Nacho March. There was the attempted takeover of Jackson County, and in Jackson County standing up.
People from all different walks of life, genealogies, nationalities, race, you name it. We have got a melting pot right here in this small town, all working together to make this town come back to life.
What is it you're afraid of losing?
I don't want to lose what we already have. The sense of community.
It is a very welcoming community, but I think they kind of came in under the radar and want to recreate it in their own image.
Their wolf in sheep's clothing.
But what really concerned these Jackson County residents, some who were reluctant for their faces to be on camera, are the podcasters' views that the civil rights movement was a mistake, that foreigners who've become U.S. citizens still don't belong in America.
What is it you would like for these people coming in from out of state to know? What message would you have for these people?
This town is not for them.
Bigotry's not one.
No, it's not going to work.
We're not that community, and we don't want to be a part of a racial hate community.
And this how y'all receive the Jared Taylor conference. Not bad, Tennessee. I'm gonna be honest. Not bad. You doing your thing. It's a lot of leopards in the vicinity. I see. There's a lot of leopards in the vicinity. Congratulations, Jared Taylor and the American Renaissance Conference. You are our racist of the week. And I would be remiss if I didn't cue the music.